Welcome back to the shop. Joey here with Turtle Labs. Redcat was nice enough to hit me up and asked if I would review their new Danchee Ridgerunner RC truck. First, I'm going to dissect this thing a little bit, and then we're going to take it for a spin. Make sure to stick around to the end to see my thoughts on this rig and for some driving footage. I think you're going to be shocked with what I've got to say about this thing. A charger is included, as well as a couple fixed plastic servo arms in case you want to ditch the servo savers. The suspension out of box feels a little stiff, but it looks to flex out very well. First, we want to dive into the axle transmissions to see what's going on inside. The upper portal gear has a CV-style joint built into it. The joint pin has a little bit of play, but after contacting Redcat Racing, they say this is intentional and they've yet to hear of a reported break at this joint. The outer axle shaft bearings are sealed to prevent dust from entering through the sides. All transaxle gears are plastic, which is fine since most abuse will be present in the portal gears. There is also ample grease installed. Upon opening the portal housings, there was no grease at all, so we added some grease and put it back together. The tie rod and drag links have a little bit of flex to them, which will give under impacts and not crack or bend. This is great for a beginner driver. This paired with a servo saver should keep things from getting broken out on the trail. The tire is a little bit stiff, but have an aggressive tread. It'll be interesting to see how these things perform. The frame consists of a steel ladder frame with plastic cross members. This is great to see on a truck of this price point. The Danchee comes equipped with a 3-link front and back, as well as motor on axle design, which paired with portals provides some really impressive ground clearance. The motor and servo wiring is kept nice and tidy right out of the box. The axle Cs are sturdy and look to be very robust. The shocks have some aluminum bits with a plastic body. The Danchee comes stock with a 2S or 7.4 volt 1500 milliamp battery out of the box, but the battery tray can accommodate a large hardcase 2S pack as well. The battery comes with a mini Tamiya-like plug, so finding third-party batteries could be difficult. The power switch is very easy to get to, even with the body on, but it's also out of harm's way. Powering the truck is a proprietary ESC receiver combo. The included radio offers a no-frills design, but has all the functionality you need to adjust trim and switch between all the modes this truck has to offer. The steering wheel is made of plastic and just out of reach to make it easy to use one-handed. Alright, now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's give it a spin. I'll give my thoughts and opinions on this truck after the drive. Let's go over some of the modes available, starting with the front dig, which locks the rear wheels, leaving the front wheels to spin and pull tight radiuses around tight obstacles. Next, we'll skip mode 1 since it's standard front steer and move straight to mode 2, 4-wheel steer, for getting around tight turns. Here you can see 4-wheel steer turning around a can, followed by standard front wheel steering. Mode 3 is crab walk, allowing the truck to strafe from side to side. Mode 4 is rear steer, or as we like to call it, forklift mode. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the video. This video is brought to you by Turtle Laboratories, a business that I own, and we make different tools for the RC enthusiast as well as other hobbies. If you may have noticed, we've been using our repair stand to work on this truck and kind of do some overviews with it. It allows you to position the truck exactly where you need it and make it very easy to work on. We also sell metal art, parts for real cars, as well as tools for real cars. And we also sell a bunch of tool organization. So if you've got a shop, we can get you organized with all your tools. If you may have noticed, we also have this organizer that we've been using in the video that organizes all your tools for your hobby, such as RC, but it also works for all kinds of other things. Use the discount code YTTL to get 15% off your next order. Anyway, enough of that, let's get back to the video. We began our testing on our rock crawler course, and to be honest, this thing performs way better than it should on this kind of terrain. Now, for the real test, I handed the controls over to my 5-year-old son, Tungsten, to see how the Danchee would handle a hike. It outperformed our expectations time and time again, and with all the different modes, it made every obstacle even more fun. As you can see here, the Danchee does a great job at crawling up this rock face, but it may have something to do with the aggressive rotation of the radio being performed by the driver. I'll have to say, crab walk is our favorite feature, and no matter how many times we did it, we got a good giggle out of it. Drag brake is practically non-existent, but that didn't really seem to be a problem for the trail driving. So what are my thoughts on this thing? I think the Danchee hits a great market in the RC world. Now, before any of you hardcore RC crawler enthusiasts start talking trash, remember back to when you first started in this hobby, especially if your first RC car was an RC crawler. What did you do first? Go on Amazon, type in RC crawler. What showed up? Something cheap? Something in like the $50 range, like the way you'd find at your local department store? Maybe there was stuff in like the under $200 category that seemed questionable. And then a little bit beyond that was the RC grade rigs in like the 400 plus range. 400 bucks sounded like a little too much to spend on a toy truck, and then after some research, it turns out you need to get a battery and a charger too. So more like $500 just to get started with something that's like decent. Getting started into it, that's a little off-putting when you don't know if you'll even like this hobby. Well, that's where this truck fits just perfect. For the price of $170, you get a true ready-to-run truck with a battery and a charger. The entire vehicle is equipped with Phillips head screws, which to the enthusiast is about awful, but for a beginner is likely to have a Phillips driver that'll work already, so no precision RC tools are needed. The motor on axle design of the axles is super simple with less moving parts like drive shafts, which can hang up and break. That, paired with the portal gears, provides great ground clearance too. The servo saver steering arms are a little bit mushy and aren't very precise, but it's going to keep the servos from breaking. Flexible plastic tie rods and drag links add a little bit more protection to all the moving parts too. The body, it's a little bit on the heavy side, but it's tough and it's going to withstand the abuse of a beginner or a youth driver. The 380 size motors will use a little less juice into like a bigger motor, but it's plenty fast to go on a hike with, and with a larger battery, this thing should run for a long time. The stock battery is good for about 45 minutes of runtime from my experience, but your mileage may vary depending on what kind of driving you're doing. The electronic speed control is tuned to provide a slow acceleration to top speed, which is good for prevention of breakage of like axle shafts and gearing. Now, the stiff tires aren't super good performers, but they'll slip rather than grab, and that's perfect for a beginner on the rocks. When the tires grab and bind up, axles snap and gears strip, and that might just be enough to turn someone off from the hobby before they even get started. Also, being a harder compound will prevent them from getting torn up quickly. When you look through the manual, Redcat Racing has really spent some time on the illustrations with the breakdown of the assemblies of this vehicle to help with maintenance and troubleshooting. They also have a full catalog of replacement parts in case you break anything. What do I think about this thing? I think Redcat Racing hit the nail right on the head for the beginner RC crawler enthusiast. If you're looking to get into RC, or if you just want to dabble with RC crawling, this might be just the gateway drug that you're looking for. With all the forgiving functionality built in, I feel like this truck is going to withstand the abuse from a new driver who doesn't know the limits of an RC crawler yet, but it still has enough performance to not deter someone from the hobby. If you're looking to get into the RC hobby, I think this is a great purchase. If you're already into RC and you want to dabble with RC crawling and play with your friends who already have 1/10 scale rigs, also great. Even though I've got a lot of higher end rigs, I think that this would even be fun still to bring on a camping trip for everyone to play with. I hope this video helped with your decision on your first or next RC vehicle. Make sure and check back because I want to do a follow-up video on this thing with a little more time behind the wheel as far as durability and some simple upgrades we can do to this cool little truck. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.